All through elementary and middle school, I received poor grades and took little interest in my subjects. I wasn't dumb, and my work ethic has been praised by instructors in athletics and music, so why was I so unsuccessful, and how did I end up at Colgate? My academic experience and that of many others has been shaped by tracking and its consequences. Tracking divides students based on a test or a teacher's perception of their ability. By first grade, this process had already begun. A program pulled select students and placed them in a separate room where they'd be challenged with more difficult problems, and something led my teacher to believe I wasn't qualified. While these students were pushed, the gap that separated myself from them widened. Consequently, I was trapped in lower-level math classes and I could not escape. The process by which students are tracked is subjective and unclear. Often teachers' estimates of what students have already learned or their potential for learning more determine how students are identified and placed, which is extremely flawed. How are teachers gauging learning potential? It's unlikely that any teacher could accurately judge a first grader's potential just a few weeks into the school year. Tracking's consequences aren't solely about the gap it creates. At a young age, I was told I was less able than many of my peers. One assumption is students of lower ability feel better about themselves when they are in homogeneous groups. I, on the other hand, felt quite the opposite, as do many students that are tracked. Self-doubt became a common theme. I couldn't believe in myself when I felt that no one else did, so I stopped caring and my grades suffered. I somehow tested into a selective high school and entered school with the attitude I'd carried in prior years, but sophomore year something changed. Mr. Gaffey, my literature teacher, wouldn't watch me throw my education away, so he asked me to meet with him. When I did, he told me he'd spoken with previous teachers and read some of my work. He said he saw my academic potential and believed I could succeed. I was stunned. For the first time, confidence seeped through the discouragement that had plagued my self-image. I was so accustomed to being tracked, I'd been tracking myself in high school. Finally, though, I recognized that the ceiling which restrained me from challenging myself vanished. I began to embrace what made my school a good school, a school that pushes a student to excel and achieve success. I grew to appreciate the competitive atmosphere that surrounded me and started taking advantage of the absence of tracking by taking tougher classes, and I succeeded. School became a place I no longer dreaded each day, but rather a pleasure. I was lucky to have a caring teacher and a school that allowed me to challenge myself, but many track students are not. It's these people who will forever be limited by a teacher or test that estimates their ability. The educational system has to recognize tracking's consequences, which kill confidence and ruin lives. All students deserve an opportunity to challenge themselves if they decide to, because no test or teacher can truly determine your potential as a learner.